Hello, this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts. Today with a really short video, hopefully, because I'm not that well. I've got an awful cough. I've had it for about a week now. I think I'm on the mend, but I do get cough attacks in between, so I'll hopefully get this done before I start. And I'm going to create a really easy card today because I want to keep my talking a bit limited. So what I have done ahead of filming is I have cut myself a just under 6x6 card, so it's 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 from an A4 cardstock, and I have used my homemade mica powder watercolors. I'm going to link to a video below where I show how to make these. I've gone into my spray box, which is a cardboard box, sorry, like a shoe box that I've cut open, and I've covered the front panel with this mica powder, which I think is a really nice effect. And I've also cut myself a little circle from a heavyweight cardstock because I'd like to put foam underneath and I don't want this to bend. This is, let me just check, 3 1/4 inches, but it doesn't really matter. I just grabbed one of my nesting dies, and because my closer ones are stitched, I just grabbed one of these ones, and the bigger one that I had in this set I think was too big, so it's really up to you the size. What I want to do though, to give it a bit of dimension, I'm going to do some ink blending around this first, very light ink blending, but just a bit of colour rather than having it stark white. So I'm using my Della Blue and my ink blending brush. I'm actually starting with the residue I've got in the lid here. This might just be enough, so I'm putting this down on some scrap paper and I'm just coming in from the side. And I'm always conscious that my ink blending brushes already have some residue on them, and I've got a little mark there, but I might be able to just disguise that with a stamp afterwards. So it's just a light application to start with. I'm just moving this around a bit. So picking up some more ink, putting it in the lid first, and then coming in again from the side. Yeah, that's a bit darker. So I'm more brushing than blending at the moment because I want the edges to catch it properly. Now I'm emptying my brush here because I don't really want any residue, and I'm just going around in circles to blend this out. It's a bit streaky at the top there, but that's okay. Just going over this now with much more pressure. And what I want to do is I want to go inside, make this fade out a little bit, but leave some white in the middle. And that will give me some dimension, and it would look more like a bauble, which this is supposed to be. It's a bit splotchy there, but it doesn't matter. It's a homemade card, so I don't mind that. And also where my edges has caught it in quite nicely because I've got a little bit of a rim, so that's quite nice. So I have seen loads of cards with the new stamps online, and there's this beautiful Christmas tree stamp. I decided not to buy this because I've got a fir tree stamp, and I try to buy stamps that are a bit more versatile at the moment. So I thought this fir tree stamp, it's a fairy fir tree, that will work nicely as a Christmas tree. It is a bit long, so I'm going to cut off the bottom, and I will also lose a bit on the tip, but I don't mind that too much. And I'm going to stamp that with my Shady Lane. My original idea was, just to let you know about that, I have done a video where I made a card with Mooch, the cat, and I used a cotton bud to take off the ink off the stamp where the eye was, and I thought I could do the same here to put some baubles in. But once I started with the mica powders, I thought I might just as well have some metallic paints anyway, and they will cover the ink nicely, so it doesn't really matter. Obviously it's quite a thin tree, but that'll be fine. So, well, I was contemplating whether I should take a bit of the top off so I could put a star on the top. I might just do that. So bear with me whilst I get a little cloth. So I can just wipe that off there. And that's a good thing about these VersaFine Clay rings. They stay wet long enough. So, still trying to give it a bit of a tip. So I can set this down here now, sort of in the middle. I don't mind that the stem is a bit green at the bottom. I might actually set it a bit lower and have enough space at the top there. I'm just pressing this down and let this sink into the cardstock. There we go. Yeah, I've got a bit of a faded colour at the top there. You could use some tape at the top, put the ink on then, and then peel off the tape. But that's fine by me because I'm going to stamp over that anyway. So I decided to use two of the little mice. I think these are Tilly and Tango. Because they stretch their arms out so nicely, I thought they could look like they're going to decorate the tree. So I'm just going to stamp them in black. Got my normal VersaFine black onyx for that. Somebody asked the other day what the difference was between the VersaFine onyx black and the Nocturne. I think this is an older version of it. I think in general they're the same. So make sure this is inked up properly. And I don't mind losing his tail a little bit, because obviously he will sit somewhere down there on the same level as the tree. So yeah, I think I'll put him closer to the tree because he can put the bauble on. But I think this one here, I don't know whether it's Tango or Tilly, I think he or she maybe has to stand away a bit more. I don't know. Have a look. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, maybe he has got the bauble as well. But I might set him down a bit more, a bit higher up. It does look like he's jumping. Yeah, set him up a bit higher. Yeah, that's fine. It's a bit speckled. If you ever have that, you could go in with a black watercolour pen. I sometimes like to go in with a black soot, but I'm not too bothered about this now. So, as I said, I thought about using my metallic paints. I even, I've got some glitter Poscas. Well, not the proper Posca brand. Artistro they are. So I'm just going to come in with that now. And I'm also going to pick some of my, or one of my star stamps. I've got the star mini groups for the top, and I'll find those now. For my star on the top of the tree, I've got one of my mini star groups. I'll link to that one below. I'm not quite sure which one it is now. I've shown it in my recent haul. So I'm just taking my Kuretake pen here. This is number 50. And I'm just painting this one in. Just making sure I'm not touching any of the other stars, because I don't want them to be on the bauble. So, and then I can place this on the top here. I think I want it this way. And because it's like a watercolour ink, it will stamp very nicely and it stays wet enough as well. There you go. Can you see? So you can still see a bit of the faded green in the back, but it doesn't matter. If you don't want to do this, just, you can just always draw one on the top. It doesn't really matter. So for the baubles, I have chosen some of my Artistro pens. These are paint marker pens, but I know that Lavinia, they quite often use the glitter Posca ones. So what I want to do is just basically put one bauble here. I'm thinking I put it on the paw rather than underneath. So as if that mouse is trying to hang it up, and with the other one, I think, and I'm just altering the colours. I've got a yellow, a green. Oh, this one's very juicy. Just leave that for a moment while it dries, and then I just add a few more into the tree. And because they're not as opaque because I've got glitter in them, it's quite easy to just paint over the stamped tree. Not quite sure how well the camera picks it up. I will hold it up in a moment, so just very randomly trying to alternate the sides a little bit. And I think you could have another one in the hand on the top there. So this one I'll clean up a little bit, so I can use this to shape this one here a little bit, not adding any more colour. I did try them before, maybe I pressed this one too hard. So, and also before I store them away, I make sure the nib is quite clean, because otherwise the paint will dry on these, and then they are really difficult to clean when you want to use them. Just looking against the light. Could do with one more here and one more there. I'll quickly have a look if I choose one more colour. Yes, I'm coming in with an orange here. I don't want to add any pink or any purple, but I think the orange would be nice. So just need to. So let me just pick this up for you so you can see what I've done. See that? I think that's really nice. So I think all I want to do now is I want to use my gel pen and add a few highlights to the mice. So thinking like a bit of light comes maybe from the star up there. This is another one that tends to dry up a bit, so just use my inky binky here. Don't want a lot of highlights, but a little bit. Now let me just swap this one around. I've got a few more of these. And this one's a bit better. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. So, thinking about whether I should add a few highlights on the tree, like a bit of snow. Probably would need a thicker pen for that. Don't know if it makes a difference, not much really. So all I would like to do now is I would like to use this Star Group Mini and just stamp a little bit in the background here, and then we're ready to attach it to the card. I'm going in with the same Della Blue. I think it's a nice colour. I don't want these to stand out too much. Just going around here, but I'm rotating the stamp as well. Don't want this to look all the same throughout. I'm avoiding the middle bit a little bit. Maybe do one more here on the edge. Yeah, I think that's okay. I could mask this a little bit here and go over there, but do I want to risk it? Let me just find some scrap paper. Yeah, I think that works better. So now I would like to attach this to the card. My original thought was to use some, oh sorry, I hope I'm not going out of focus too much here. Camera seems to be struggling at the moment. So my original thought was to put twine on this, but then I like to put the twine on the back. But because this is the proper card base, I decided not to do that. So I'm going to just draw on the card base here. I'm going to draw a little thread and also a little bow that this one can hang on. And I think this will be just enough. So I'm getting my T-ruler out. If you've got a very good eyesight, then you don't need to do that. I'm also trying to find the middle here. So I'll just mark that. I've got another cool gadget for that from my school days. So let me just find the middle here. And I think I'll have the twine. I think I'll do that in the gold as well, because I could do it in the white, but I know that that's not the pens are not the best. So I'm just marking this at the top here. Sorry if I'm going a bit off camera there. So I'm using then my T-ruler, which sits on the edge here, and I can then just extend the line. You could do a stitched line. I think I will just go right down here, and I don't mind it to be a bit longer. I'm going that way as well. Got a bit of a blob on the top now where I started off, and the next thing is I'm going to wipe down my ruler so I don't have any excess of the paint there. So I'm just eyeballing where I would like this to sit if I have a sentiment at the bottom. So I think just go here and have a little bow just like that. I think that'll be fine. So I'm just getting my foam pads out, and I'm just going to stick this on there a bit lower so I can see the bauble, sorry, the bow. I'm even contemplating whether I should sit a bit higher and then put the ribbon on top. I might just do that, I think. No, I think I'll just sit a bit lower. So, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which is Nadolig Llawen, is Welsh for Merry Christmas. I think I will, I've got metallic ink, so I think I will just stamp it in that. And I will quickly do this off camera just to save myself from talking too much. And then I'll show you the finished card. So my card is finished. I decided against stamping this in gold. I wanted to use this Midas metallic pigment ink, and it works quite nicely for some jobs, but not so good for stamping. So because this is the card base, I didn't want to heat emboss on it, so I basically heat embossed on a separate strip, cut it out, cut it with my corner rounder, but cut it straight here. I popped that up on foam as well. I quite like that. This one I thought I made a bit of a mess on, because it didn't look too good actually having the ribbon here on top, but it's not too bad. I actually lifted this up a little bit and to continue the ribbon on the back as well. It's not perfect, as I said. If this wasn't the card base, I would have put a proper ribbon on there. Or also, I dug this out here, but I didn't use it on this. If you got a die cut like this and it's got the little bauble thing on top, you could add something like that as well. And yeah, I could have done that instead of drawing on it, but it is what it is. But I think this is still quite nice, and I really like it on the blue shiny background. And it's a very quick card to make, even one that you could batch make if you wanted to. Yeah, I hope you like this card. If you do, you might want to give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, I post videos at least twice a week. I already know that I'm posting videos daily in December. I hope at the moment that I'm feeling better soon and will be able to post my next video on Sunday. This one I'm recording on Tuesday for tomorrow, Wednesday. So yeah, if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. And I'll see you soon with another video.